Hi, I'm Jason Ranieri. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist in San Leandro, California. I am coming to you from my backyard on a day off. Why am I talking to you from my backyard on a day off? Well, I want to talk about the importance of getting some kind of respite, getting some space for yourself. This is what I do to get some space for myself. I come out here, the garden's beautiful, and I take some time to myself, and I might read, I might write. At the moment, I'm doing this video, but it's really important to take some time for yourself. Being in your 50s is a very interesting place to be at this time. I think that it always has been. Nobody really prepares you for what it's actually like. You may have watched people in their 50s while you were growing up, but not really paid attention to what they were going through. And there's not a lot of discussion about this period of life. I mean, people do talk about that midlife crisis where, you get divorced, marry a new young person, and buy a sports car. That's not what this is about. That's not what the 50s are really about. There's so many things to talk about when we talk about living your 50s. And it's not the same for everybody. I want to acknowledge that. I have to acknowledge that as a therapist, I have my own unique perspective as somebody who, I don't know, enjoys time in his backyard and has a backyard to enjoy. It's a certain perspective that I have. Living in your 50s means a lot of things. It means that you're no longer new. You no longer have a lot of the excuses that you had when you made mistakes before of like, well, I didn't know. You can still use that, of course, but it doesn't have as much resonance as it does when you were 21, let's say. There's an expectation that you have life figured out in your 50s, that you know what you're doing, that you know what you want to do with your life. A lot of those things aren't necessarily true. We are still people. We're still struggling to figure out what we need to do in this life, and we're all presented with challenges. One of the challenges, though, that I find common enough among the people that I work with, as well as, quite frankly, personally, is taking care of your parents. Yeah, nobody prepared me for being a caregiver to parents. In a lot of the ways, it's a real privilege. I get to give back. I've gotten so much from my parents, especially my mother, who is the one that I'm taking care of now. It's kind of hard, though. The roles reverse. She used to take care of me. Your parents used to take care of you. They helped you grow. They helped you develop. They provided safe guardrails. They provided for you materially, food, clothing, shelter. They took you to places. They exposed you to new things. You hit your 50s, and if you're lucky enough to still have your parents, which I still have my mom, and I feel very fortunate for that, chances are they're going to need care. Chances are they're in their 70s and 80s, or maybe older, depends on when they had kids. And as we get older, our bodies change. We often need health care, but health care isn't just get a shot. If you're feeling sick, you go to the doctor, you get antibiotics, and then you take them and you feel better. Yes, it is that. And you may be dealing with mobility issues that you didn't have before. You may be dealing with limitations on your energy output. Maybe your hands don't work like they used to because now you got some osteoarthritis in your knuckles and you can't open cans anymore. It may be too hard to drive for you. Your night vision isn't what it used to be. And so on and so on and so on. The challenges rack up as you get older. Especially, it seems like once you hit your 70s. That's not everybody, but it's common enough. And so if you are a child of someone who is getting up there and who needs help, chances are you're going to help. And it starts small. It starts very small. Maybe they need you to pick up some groceries every now and then. So sure, no problem. I'll go get groceries and bring it to your house, bring it to your apartment. No big deal, right? I'm going to visit you anyway, so I might as well bring groceries with me. Then you do that, and then it becomes more of a common occurrence. And you start shopping for them when you shop for yourself. And part of your routine is every time you go grocery shopping, you go grocery shopping for them at the same time. And you bag things separately, and you bring one bag or two bags or however many bags to your parent, to your mother, and take the rest of those bags home for yourself. And so it's not a huge chore. It's just another level of caregiving and a little bit more responsibility. So it's stuff like that that creeps up. Suddenly they need help with laundry. So sure, why not? I'm going to visit you. You got a washer dryer in your place. I can wash clothes while we're talking, while we're visiting, whatever, no problem. So then it's laundry and it's groceries. And you notice that, the house isn't as clean as it used to be because, well, it's harder for them to clean. And they may not see it, but they might see it and have a lot of shame about that. And so you may be hiding cleaning up after them, or they may actually ask you for help. And then so you start offering that too. And then suddenly there's a call at 2 a.m. from your mother, let's say. And she's having a health crisis and she's all alone because she's in her apartment and she needs your help right away. And you try to assess over the phone, but you're no doctor and you may not even be a nurse, right? Maybe you're a therapist. Maybe you're, I don't know, a regular office worker, a marketer or whatever, but your job is not in healthcare delivery and assessing what people need when they're ill. So you do your best to figure out what's going on while you've woken up from a deep sleep, probably. And then you figure out, okay, well, do we need to call 911 now and get the ambulance to come over now? Is it that kind of emergency, or is it the kind of emergency that I can come over and help you out and take care of you a little bit and see what's wrong, and maybe we can solve some of this without having to take you to the ER? Or I go over and I clearly see, oh crap, there's something happening here and we need to either take you to the ER or we have to call an ambulance and get them here real quick. And that happens once. Okay, as you're providing other care and you're trying to work, and often when you're in your 50s, you have a job with a lot of responsibilities. You have bills to pay. You have your own house. You may have your own kids. You have your own animals. You have your own spouse. You have your own life to live. And you would need to take care of yourself too, on top of all of that. So as you spend more energy and time taking care of your parent, you have less time and energy for all of the rest of the things in your life. It's just the way it is. It's not like you're going to suddenly have more energy and time. We're limited, finite beings. So we have to acknowledge reality that the more we add to our plates, the less You're going to have time for other things, maybe, or some of those things may need to go on the back burner, or things just don't get done or taken care of because you're busy doing something else. I mean, that's just life, right? Well, let's say you start getting those 2 a.m. calls more frequently, and there is something going on that they need some real care. And so you have some decisions to make. So you can move in with your parent temporarily to take care of a crisis and do all of the caregiving. Maybe take FMLA, maybe just take your PTO, your vacation time to take care of your relative, your parent, your mother, and you just do it, right? And then you find out that, there was a lot more that I realized that my mother needs, and like on a daily basis, constantly. And then you have more decisions to make, and you need to talk to your parent about that. Of course, it's their life, they're the ones that set the agenda, hopefully, because that's just part of being an autonomous adult, and they are your parents. But you do need to talk about, hey, it looks like you're needing more help. And I'm giving you all the help that I can and feel privileged to be able to do it. And it's a lot. And I still have my job, my spouse, my kids, my house to take care of, bills to pay. I have all of those things in my life too that I have to manage. And so we need to talk about how to get some kind of help here with caregiving. And then it becomes you open the box, you open the can of worms, and a whole lot comes out. A lot of feelings, often from the parents that, they've taken care of themselves all these many decades and they don't need help. What do you mean? I just call and ask you for help every now and then, and you're family, you're my kid, so you come over and it's no big deal. And it's like, yeah, okay, I'm capable of doing all of this stuff, sure. But just listing all of the other things that I have to take care of in my life, this is becoming unsustainable for me. I work with a lot of clients who have experienced that progression. And then once you're there, you may not recognize right away that you're there, and you're burning the candle at both ends, even in the middle. And you end up burnt out. Maybe you end up sick because you've pushed yourself too hard. And then you have less patience. And so then you may not be as nice or as kind to your parent as you would like. This happens. This is part of the cold, hard truth of taking care of your parents consistently and also still needing to do your own life, which is what often people in their 50s are called to do. It's a lot. And you're also not 25 anymore, so you're starting to come up to your own physical limitations, your own energy limitations, because, well, you are middle-aged. You're edging towards, senior. You're not quite there yet. You're middle-aged, but you're not 40 even. You're not... Things end up being different as you get older. And so there's that acknowledgement of your own limitations and your own aging. And then you start thinking about your own mortality, because that's what you're looking at with your parent. Yeah, I have clients that deal with that, and I'm also talking from personal experience. So I do help my clients through this, through helping them talk through all of the decision making they need to do, helping them manage the stress, looking at how they can remain present with themselves, how they can take care of themselves so they can be there for their parent. Because if you don't take care of yourself and you fall apart, that doesn't do anybody any good. That doesn't do you any good, and certainly you're not there then to take care of your parent. Yeah. These are the things that nobody prepares you for. And I could talk a little bit more in this video about solutions and what you do. The thing is that everybody is different. Every parent is different. Every family is different. Everyone's circumstances are different. I know what we've chosen to do. I know the choices that we've made. And I know choices that my clients have made that even in my life, some of it works and some of it may not work so well. It's still challenging, but you do what you can to try to pull things together so that all the spheres of your life, including your caregiving, is still intact, and that you're also able to be there. So you've respected your own limitations. I guess that for my clients, and even personally, that may be the hardest part, is realizing that, I want to be able to give. I want to be able to give more time, more care, more energy. And if I do that, I overextend myself if I'm trying to keep everything else going. And I have to actually acknowledge that I'm a limited, finite being with limited, finite resources, and I need to get help. Now, when you are ready to make decisions with your parent, there's a lot that goes into it. So there's logistics, there's where do they live, where are you living? There is everything about how to get them food. There's everything about how to get them to their doctor's appointments. There's everything about managing a crisis from home or going over there to manage a crisis, a health crisis even. You have financial considerations, which, let me tell you, those nobody is really prepared for. I don't know anybody, clients included, friends, family, who's 100% ready for or knowledgeable about what it takes to pull together care and to be able to afford it. I could get into this on this video, but again, each case is going to be different. There are lots of places that you can go, lots of networks you can access that I can talk about, but really as a therapist, where I try to stay is empowering people and making those decisions for themselves and taking a look at what resources they already have and to build on those. And sometimes it's small changes over time that help, that start making the situation easier to manage and also just healthier for everybody. And sometimes there are really big, quick changes that need to happen depending on the situation. And that your hand gets forced and suddenly you're not talking about getting in-home care, you're talking about hospice. That is a reality that could happen and has happened to lots of people in lots of situations. So yeah, this video is a little bit more about the caregiving role that you may find yourself in your 50s. It's something that I believe doesn't get enough attention. As a society, we are woefully unprepared to do this. We do not have good systems to help people age in place with dignity, to age in healthy ways, to have the support that they need as they age. We really don't have it. Yeah, there's Medicare and Social Security. Social Security, you already know this if you're an adult, will not pay the bills, all the bills, most of the time. Medicare doesn't cover absolutely everything that you're going to need when it comes to time to take care of your parent. So there are lots of things that you need that Medicare doesn't pay for. And then there's the whole consideration of, do you qualify for Medi-Cal/Medicaid or not, which is a financial means test, and you really do have to have very little resources to qualify for them to pay for some of the care. And so all of those things, they're really big decisions. And so what I help people do is to break things down one piece at a time, because if we focus on all of that all at once, it's really too much. So then you get frozen, or you go to despair, or you fall apart. None of those things are great, right? And when somebody comes into my office or online, because I do telehealth as well, they're often in those spaces, or they're on their way to it. They're really close, and they're coming to me for help. I do have experience in this area personally, but what works for me isn't going to work for you. And so what I do is I help you figure out what it is that you need to do in this situation to bring about the health of everybody in that system. You, your parents that you're taking care of, your spouse, your kids, your job, all of it. We take a look at one thing at a time, and often it is about making small incremental changes, and definitely it's about linking to resources. There are a lot of resources out there. They're not enough, but we're also not prepared. Nobody hands us a book that says, oh, look, here are the resources. Yes, there's Google these days. Yes, you can go online and research and search for things. You might be involved in a Reddit group. You might be involved in a group on Facebook where there are other people your age facing the same thing. So that's another good place to get resources to know what's out there. That could be part of what we do together, but that is more the case management side of things. I'm here to help you stay together, keep things going, maintain your mental health, keep a clearer head, remain present, not future trip and go to the doom and gloom, to notice what options you actually do have so that you're not feeling like you have absolutely no out, nowhere to go. That's generally what we focus on in therapy. Yep. And I find that people benefit from that. They tend to make those changes because they're motivated. Things aren't going well, so people want to get better. They want to be better at doing this. And so having someone there present where they can let it all out and not feel judged for anything, and not feeling like they're being sold a direction to go and forced to make certain changes, where I facilitate the discussion and the thinking about what needs to change and help you arrive at what might fit for you. That is generally what works. So there's a lot more on this topic that I could talk about. And so here I am in my backyard. I'm D Ranieri. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist in the East Bay in San Leandro, California. I'm licensed in California and Nevada, so I can do telehealth for people in California and Nevada. And I'm going to sign off now. So I hope that wherever you find yourself, you're able to find the support and the balance you need to manage. Take care.